أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إنا أعطيناك الكوثر فصل لربك وانحر إن شانئك هو الأبتر. Again, Surah Kawthar is one of the surahs which is short, but with great meanings and with great guidance. إنا أعطيناك الكوثر. Surely we have given you Kawthar. فصل لربك وانحر. So turn in prayers, صلي, turn in prayers, perform praying to your Rabb. وانحر. Again, about this word, maybe you will hear something new here, because we have in translations we have sacrifice to him, which can be correct, because always salat comes with zakat in Quran. For example, aqam salat, then after zakat, because again zakat is for infaq, and salat and infaq always comes together. But here, according to the research, and even Allama Tabatabai, he believes that one har, nahara means the part of throat in Arabic. You say galugah. I don't know what you say in Urdu. Nahr comes from throat, and when, for example, Arab is saying nahara in sacrificing, for example, camel, because they sacrifice by cutting the throat of the animal. And another meaning of nahara in Arabic is when we bring up our hands while we start praying. For example, in takbir of namaz, Allahu Akbar, we bring our hands near our throat, up. Or even at the end of our praying, when we, for example, recite salam of namaz, tashahhud and salam, they will bring 3 times our hands up. Have you ever thought, what does it mean? Why do we do this? In fact, it's the symbol of leaving behind everything that is worldly. When we do this action, it means that. When in the book of Adab al-Salat, which has been written by Imam Khomeini, I've read this, that this means leaving behind when we bring our hands up to our next to our ears, or here we say, because nah is throat, next to our, for example, throat, it means that leaving behind everything that is worldly. So it فَصَلِّ لِرَبِّكَ وَانْحَرْ, we can translate it as, so turn in prayers to your Rabb and pick your hands up to your ears. But even if we accept the meaning of sacrifice to him, there is no conflict, because it means that next to salat, we do infaq. Inna shani'aka huwal abtar. Surely your enemy, he is the one will be cut off, will be without posterity. Okay, what's the environment of this surah? All of you, I'm sure you know that people would think that, because according to Arab culture that time, if because Prophet didn't have any sons, so they would say that, oh, his generation will not continue, so the mission he has started will stop. But the main reason was that they wanted that. They were waiting for that because Risalat of Prophet, the mission of Prophet ﷺ was against their benefits, and they wanted it to stop. So they would bring that excuse that, oh, to Prophet, that because, and they would advertise it by propaganda that, oh, he doesn't have son, so that's his generation will not continue. And then after his death, everything goes back to whatever was like before, and Tawhid will not have any place there, and we don't have to worship Allah, and we can carry on as before. But why? It is strange that Allah to face them and did not give Prophet son. The easiest, the most clear thing could be that Allah gives son to Prophet, and then their mouth would be closed. But what Allah didn't give Prophet any son, and even the son, like two sons he had, they died. So we can see how Allah plans. It's not always, it's not so clear. There are some parts that we need to be real believers, not to go, not to divert from the wrong path. This is not part of Tadabbur of Surah Kawthar. I just explained in the bracket. Okay, it comes to ayat. So people, they would think that the mission of Prophet will stop, and they would always they would use this against Prophet. But Allah is saying, "Inna a'tainaka al-kawthar." This sentence starts with noun in Arabic, not with verb. I've explained even before that when a sentence in Arabic starts with noun, not verb, it means that it has got an emphasis in it. One of the points is emphasized. Then we have inna at the start, which is the word definitely, which means definitely, surely, verily. So it is another emphasis. And then when Allah is saying inna, na is as first person plural subject pronoun. For example, sometimes we say, for example, I did this. Sometimes we say we did this. In Quran and in Arabic, when Allah is saying inna, it is for emphasizing, like inna anzalnahu fi laylatil qadr. So when it becomes, it's not inni, because when it's inni means I. When it's inna, it means we. So when it comes in the shape of inna, plural, it's another emphasis. So we see three emphases Allah has used in this ayat. Inna a'tainaka al-kawthar. What does Kawthar mean? Kawthar means multiple goods. You know, in Farsi we say khair. I've heard that in Urdu we have khair as well. Then we say khair kasir. Kawthar means khair kasir, means multiple goods, great boon. Allah is saying that surely, definitely, we have given you Kawthar. We have given you something which is multiple good. What does it do? It calms down the heart of Prophet in the situation that he was too much under pressure from kuffar side, from non-believer side, that they would blame him. So Allah announces that this is one of the God's special care of Prophet, that he announces about granting Prophet by Kawthar. And then inna shana'aka huwal abtar. Again, another grammar point in this ayat. Inna shana'aka huwal abtar. Inna is emphasizing. Huwa, when Allah brings huwa again here in this ayat, it is like a limitation. It is, we say, restrict. It says that, okay, inna shana'aka, surely your enemy, he is the one who is abtar. When the huwal abtar means he is abtar and nobody else. He is abtar and just him. So it means that Allah wants to emphasize that don't worry. Those people who they are against you, who they are your enemy, they themselves will be cut off. And we can see that after Prophet, what happened? Up to today, nobody believe the religion of Islam in the world. How much they have tried from the first day. Okay, what's the point? What's another point in these ayats? Sometimes we evaluate things with our material criteria. For example, we say, oh, because, for example, that person doesn't have son, his generation will not continue. Or, for example, because that person doesn't have enough money, so he cannot, for example, do this, he cannot do that. We bring our limited materialist criteria for judging. You know what I want to say? That we don't consider Allah's power. But Allah wants to say that no. Although they say, for example, they calculate it with their own criteria, but I am the person who is the most powerful, so I've given you Kawthar. And this will support you. This way Allah is saying that, be sure, Prophet, I will support you. I've given you Kawthar. فَصَلِّ لِرَبِّكَ وَانْحَرْ. So to be thankful of your Rabb, فَصَلِّ, pray, namaz, وَانْحَرْ, and bring your hands up, pick your hands up to your ears, to leave behind everything that is worldly. It means, what does it mean? Oh, Prophet, don't listen to these people who they try to destroy your position by their propaganda that, oh, this will not continue and this mission will stop soon, and they just want to frighten your followers and to make your followers doubtful that it will not continue. Allah is saying, no, calm, pray towards your Rabb, and leave everything which is worldly behind. Don't worry about it. إن شانئك هو الأبتر. إن شانئك هو الأبتر is in front of إنا أعطيناك الكوثر. I've given you, definitely, surely we have given you Kawthar, and إن شانئك هو الأبتر. Your enemy, he is the one will be cut off. And we see how Allah brings these two together, and then for and command and Prophet to thank Allah, to thank your Rabb, to what? Fasalli. Okay, what is the main point of Surah Al-Kawthar? Is it that Allah is saying, Prophet, Fasalli, Rabbika wanhar, or ayat number 1 and 3? Because the main point of Surah Kawthar is ayat number 1 and 3, because in that heavy environment, which there were lots of propaganda against the Prophet, Allah wants to calm down the Prophet and his followers. But don't worry, your enemy will not achieve anything, and who is the loser is your enemy. And your way, and your mission will continue. In fact, this is a calmness for us when we recite this. For example, today I was again studying Surah Kawthar. I was thinking that because I was always worried inside about for example, as an example, revolution of Iran, that I was always thinking, oh, what will happen? For example, God forbidden if something happens to the supreme leader of, for example, Iran, or what will happen? Who is going to continue? Always, I had this worriness inside. But I don't. Today, when I again studied Surah Kawthar, it came to my mind that this is what I'm saying. It's not from the main lecture of Tadabbur. It just came to my mind that so maybe we are, for example, I'm worried because I just calculate things with my understanding, which is limited. But Allah has promised in Surah Kawthar that, O Prophet, your mission will continue. So we can really pray to Allah that you have immortalized the Prophet. You have promised that your mission will carry on. You also guaranteed the permanence of her family, because according to Hadith Thaqlain, two main factors to protect Prophet's mission. What was them? What is that? According to Surah, to Hadith Thaqlain, two main factors to protect the mission of Prophet is Quran and Ahlul Bayt. And we should really pray to Allah that put us in the service of Quran and Ahlul Bayt and protect us from the path of their enemies, because the path of the mission of Prophet is the path of endless mission, and that is a promise Allah has promised in Surah Kawthar. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم.